this is through my experience. As marketers, I think a lot of dependence is on teams, and not just the teams that we manage, but teams also from allied partners. The most important fact that I have found is that when you understand the point of view, not from a thought point of view, but from the root cause, the empathy that you can drive with them, it yields absolutely fantastic results. This is a tough act to follow. We've seen gratitude, we've heard about spirituality as well. But I think the route that we're taking this evening, and I don't have to worry about this, unlike Kaushal, certain advantages of being short. One of them will be this. I think the direction we are going is similar to what I have to speak about, and I'm going to speak about empathy. Short, sweet. And this is through my experience, and now I've been able to build the little that I have been able to for myself, and not just in the professional world, but also in the personal front. As marketers, I think a lot of dependence is on teams, and not just the teams that we manage, but teams also from allied partners. And the most important fact that I have found is that when you understand the point of view, not from a thought point of view, but from the root cause, the empathy that you can drive with them, it yields absolutely fantastic results. Teams per se, in today's day and age, what we see is that life is very difficult, and we're going through a phase that none of us have ever seen in our lives. Imagine those who are youngsters who've just started working and they just jump into this kind of situation, who are far less prepared to handle this. In that case, I think the one belief that we need to build in them and for us to practice with them is empathy. I was having this chat with a colleague of mine the other day. There is this growing tendency that I see personally in people to point their finger at someone else. I am doing the right thing, but that person is not. I think the one thing that we need to drive our teams towards is to understand why that person is doing what he is. And that is from a work culture point of view. As marketers, today, I think we've moved far beyond segmentation. Segmentation is, yes, a start point, but we've moved to a stage where the segments are getting smaller. We have to define consumers more granularly, and that's where empathy again comes in. Today, I think we are defining people, and I know that we are defining people by what they consume and how they consume. But if we can actually build the world of marketing around driving empathy to understand consumers really, that will be the differentiating factor between a consumer world versus a world that cares for its consumers. And what is the way to do it? I think none of us, at least I haven't come across a model that helps do that. But the one thing that I think can drive towards it, and therefore it depends on the kind of models that we can come up with and the kind of experiments that we can do, is data. Today we are data rich, insights poor. And I think we are looking at data from the point of view of numbers, sentiments alone. What we need to also see is the underlying reasons why those numbers, those sentiments are appearing. Lastly, I'd like to cover just 3 points. The last point I'd like to cover is this very controversial topic about an agency and client partnership. I've been a client throughout my life. I've never worked with an agency. And this part about empathy is so important to drive good work. And I'm not saying that a client should have empathy towards the agency or the agency should have towards the client. It's both. What happens that I've seen is that the larger the agency, the lesser is the empathy. And the reason for that in my mind is that there is a sense of accomplishment which leads to a sense of ego. And that prevents from a person understanding what the client really is looking for. So it becomes you versus me. And the best people that I have worked with in the agencies, and I'm saying people because it's not really an agency is as good as the people that you work with. So the best people I've worked with have really tried to understand feedback rather than come back immediately saying, ये कैसे होगा? इससे तो पूरा creative हिल जाएगा. ये script में last में ऐसे end नहीं कर सकते. People will not get hooked onto this. It is not about the reaction. It is about to understand where that feedback comes from. And in my short journey of just about 17 odd years, a little over 17 odd years, I think what has helped me in good stead has been this function of empathy, which fortunately I've been taught right from my childhood. And I've been fortunate to have been brought up in a culture where this was one of the biggest values and driven from my mother, from my father, from everyone else. And I practice that with my team, and I've noticed the results are there to see. And they're gone are the days when you would be a hard taskmaster. What you need today are people who are not leaders. They are people with a little more experience than the rest of them, working with them as a team, right? And just put your hand on the back of someone who's not performing and just ask him, where is it I can help you? I know that you can perform better. Where is it that I can help you? Rather than saying, ye kyun nahi hua? And I think all of this put together makes the corporate world a better place. We become more productive. And I think overall, what we deliver is far better than what we could without him. Thank you so much.